loud.
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Energon Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. That's right, we're getting back into the trucks. Now, I know that this is a guy that normally gets a lot of hate. General opinion is that it's not very good, but I gotta tell you, I enjoy this figure a lot. I think it offers a lot of play options, and I think it's a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, that's what we're going for. We're going for fun and playability, and I think this guy delivers. This guy is a lot of fun. Now, this is probably gonna be one of my longer videos because I've got a lot of stuff to show you. So sit back and relax, and let's get right to it. Released in 2003, this guy was a leader class and originally retailed for $30. Here in truck mode, the cab is approximately 7 inches long and 4 inches tall. The trailer is approximately 12 inches long and 5 inches tall. So when you get them combined here, you're looking at approximately 15 inches long for the whole thing, and you're still 5 inches here at the top of the trailer here. He does have some sounds. Those are for the drones that are going to come out of the trailer here, so we'll get to those when we get into the robot and base mode. We'll go ahead and get into those. If there's anything that I could change on this guy, I gotta tell you, it's for being what it is. This guy was meant to be some kind of a futuristic. It's kind of like an evolution from Armada Prime, and Armada Prime was supposed to be some type of a futuristic, made-up military vehicle, and this guy was an evolution of that. And for a made-up vehicle, I think he looks cool. I like this design. I really do enjoy it. But here, let's just kind of turn him around so you can get a good view of everybody around him. There's your, in fact, let's just unhook him from the fifth wheel there. There's your trailer all the way around. We'll set that aside for a second, and we'll bring this guy back in. And here's a 360 of the truck mode. And if there was anything that I was going to change on this guy, it would probably be right here on the top of the truck. You can see the back of the robot head, and that's a shame. I always think it's a shame. Whoops, I hit the button for the sounds there. But I always think it's a shame when the heads are showing your visible head syndrome. That's a shame. I really don't like that at all. I would have tried to find a way to maybe get it in there all the way and have a little panel cover it up or something like that. I'm not crazy about this part right here. This is going to become the helmet for the super robot mode. Now, I really enjoy the feature of having this piece connected and just flip over and kind of form itself around the regular robot head. I really think that is a super cool feature. But the downside of that is that then you've got this thing hanging out back here, and it's kind of a mess. You don't have a whole lot really that you can do with it. You can move these guys around and just kind of play with it and try to find some kind of a shape for it. But I find that this is the less obtrusive, really, a way of putting it there. It just kind of keeps everything kind of out of the way. It's as small as you can get it, so that's kind of the way I keep it. You can play around with it, move it around, and set it differently, but that's a shame. Like I said, I like the fact that it's on a hinge and you can flip it over. I think that's a super cool feature, but that's your downside, is that that's sticking out there. If there would have been a way to, I don't know, maybe flip it over and hide it in here or something like that, I wish it would have done that instead. So. Now, I know that this is another point of contention here that a lot of people have, is that, these obviously are going to be the arms for the robot mode, and they're showing right there. But to be honest, I don't really hate it as much as a lot of people do, because I can see that in a fake truck. I can see that as some kind of an outrigger or some kind of a connection that's going to go to the trailer or something like that. So I really don't mind that much. I just kind of use my imagination as to what these are, and they really don't bother me. But yeah, the helmet and the visible head, that would have been the thing to change on that. So, alrighty, so let's get right into transformation. This guy's real simple. You can see that the rifle for the robot mode is just sitting right there. That's a good storage for it. You can peg it right in there. There's your port and a clip, and there's your peg, and what it does is it just clips right in just like that, and it sits straight. So it's a good way to store your weapon while you're in vehicle mode. So I kind of like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off though, and we're going to get into the robot mode. Transformation is real super simple with this guy. We're going to start down here with the legs. You flip them over and you can see the legs are showing right there. So go ahead and just pull these down and all the way down just like that. And then if you look at the legs on the front and the back are going to be your toes and your heels. So go ahead and just flip those out. All four of these, just go ahead and flip them out. And there you go. There's your feet. All right, you come up here, and again, we talked about these being the arms. No surprise there. So we go ahead and just pop those out. One on each side. Straighten out the arms. And you can see the tabs there that are going to facilitate you getting the fists out. So there you go. There's your fists. Come back here, and there's your sound again. What am I doing? I keep hitting that button. This piece right here is all double hinged, so you can just go ahead and fold that up and store it right there. At this point, I like to take the helmet and just straighten it out and then flip it over. And let me bring the camera up a little bit. So we had the helmet up like this in truck mode. I like to go ahead and flip it around. And see, this is what I was talking about. See how this just kind of tucks away and hides right there in the back of the robot mode? If they would have come up with a way to maybe open this back here in truck mode to hide that when it was in truck mode, I think that would have been awesome. That would have been an awesome addition to this. And then finally, once again, there's your head. So you can pop this up. And there is Optimus Prime in robot mode. I'm going to give him his rifle. And we're going to take a look at him right here. And I know what you're going to say. In fact, let me bring the camera up a little bit. We are going to be getting tall on this video. We're going to have a lot of stuff that we're showing off here. So I know what you're all thinking. He looks fat. That's the common complaint with this guy, is that he looks fat. But I don't really mind it as much. I understand why they did it. This guy is really meant to be put in his combined mode, and that's why the limbs, you can see the forearms and the leg and the shins especially are really, really thin, whereas the torso here, they didn't really do a whole lot to hide the truck mode. You know, you've got your wheels sitting right here, and then the back wheels are in the back here. They're kind of helping to create a wider silhouette, so that really doesn't help the look of it. And then when you've got a small head and small limbs that are designed that way to accommodate for the combined mode or the super robot mode, you're going to get this. You know, he's going to look fat, I guess. That's the general consensus, is that he looks fat. But again, I don't mind him all that much. He's still a good figure to play with. I like him. I like playing with him. And the super robot mode, when those guys are combined, he looks super, super cool. So let's get into the articulation. You've got a full 360 on the head. However, you can't really get it all the way around because of the that hinge right there. If you try to force it, you could make cause some damage to the head. So you can go all the way side to side. You got a full 360 on the shoulders. You've also got an in and out on the shoulders. You've got a elbow rotation or an elbow joint. So you've got a full 90 at the elbow there. No fist rotation, unfortunately, and no waist rotation. But you can go forward about that much. So Optimus Prime is not going to be kicking off your face, but he'll be kicking your shins. You can go back a little further. There is a knee joint right there, and you saw the toes and the heel spurs. They go up a little bit, but that's for transformation, and it doesn't really accomplish a whole lot in robot mode, not truck mode, robot mode. So there's Optimus Prime in his robot mode. Now his rifle is spring loaded. He comes with a missile you can pop in right here. And when you press a little button on the back right here, it shoots off. It's spring-loaded. It works all right. It works pretty good. So there he is. There's your Energon Optimus Prime in his regular robot mode. I'm going to go ahead and set this guy aside. And we're going to take a look at the trailer here and go into the quote-unquote base mode, or garage mode, as many people call it. So what we're going to do is right here is the connection for the truck mode to connect into the fifth wheel. We're going to go ahead and just pop that down. Take the whole thing and just flip it over, just like that. And if you come around on this side, there's a kind of a kickstand right here, so you can go ahead and bring that down. And that's going to help stabilize the whole thing. Right up here, you've got a radar dish, so you can pop this guy up. And then over here, these guys are supposed to be like some sort of cannons. There's one on each side. There's one there, and then there's one right there. So there you go. You've got yourself some cannons. You've got yourself a support there. You've got yourself a radar, and there you go. There's your your base mode, or your garage mode, as many people call it. And so what we've got here is, this is where Optimus keeps his drones that he's going to combine with to go into the super robot mode. Let me try and back up a little further here. And if you look in the front here, you're going to notice 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all doors that are going to open up. They do have a launch feature, so you can pop this guy open like that. We'll start with one, and you see the little slider here. You can go ahead and slide that over, and that launches the fire truck, drone number 1, and not very well. Unfortunately, when it came down here, it just hit the ground and flops over. Let's see if we do it a little slower, if maybe he'll roll down a little harder. There you go. That worked. So there's your drone number 1. He's a little fire truck. He's got a little extending ladder right here. Come on. You can extend this little ladder right there. He's got a pair of cannons. I suppose these are water cannons, and you can turn these around a little bit and just kind of aim and point them. So there you go. There's your first drone. Come down over here on the other side. Now this door is not going to open. This door is going to open on the side here, and this is going to become a helipad, because drone number 2 is a helicopter. And you do have a little transformation that you have to do with it. So you open up the propellers, you pull out the tail, and there you go. There is drone 2 in helicopter mode. And this is another one of those things that a lot of people hate. Oh, it's all folded up and put away, and he's not sitting in there properly. But you know what? When a helicopter is going to go into storage in a tight space, some helicopters are, especially in the military, they are designed for parts of them to fold up like that. So again, I don't mind that at all. I think it's pretty cool, and that spins pretty well. There's your drone number 2, helicopter. I'm going to go back on this side one more time. Now, the launch gimmick doesn't work so well on this guy, and I'll show you why here in a second. Let me see. I'm going to flick it as hard as I can and see how far out it goes. It didn't. That wasn't so bad, actually. It came out quite a bit. So this is drone number 3, and he's a drill. And he's got a little gimmick. He's got a little wheel, geared wheel on the bottom here. So when you spin that, you can see the drill on the front rotates or spins around. So you can do that with him. And that's why he typically doesn't tend to launch so well, because as soon as that wheel hits the ground, it tends to stop him. But we got him to shoot out pretty good. So there you go. There's drone 3, the drill. And then our final drone is going to be on the other side. Open that up, and let me see if I can get him to shoot this way. Try and get him on camera. There you go. And you've got yourself drone number 4 is a little submarine. So no gimmick here, just a couple of little wheels. It just rolls around. There you go. So there's your 4 drones. 1, 2. I'll try and get them all on the camera. 3 and 4. And your garage base trailer mode there. There you go. So let's set these guys aside so that we can get into the combined mode. And so I'm going to go ahead and just close this trailer back up and just kind of get it out of the way for now. Wow. Always when you're on camera is when you make these mistakes. There we go. There's back in trailer mode, and we're out here. So what we're going to do now is going to go ahead and go into the combination. So let me set these guys aside, and we'll get Optimus back in here. Take his rifle away. One thing I didn't show on the robot mode here. One of the features of the robot mode. If you look right here on the shoulder, he's got the little port for the Energon star, and I've got one of those right here. This is the one that came with RC, and that guy can just plug right in there, and that's what gave him more power. So before we get rid of the drones, let's bring these guys back out again. And I mentioned that there were some sounds that were related to the drones. So what happens here is, let's see, how do we do this? Put the drones in the back and Optimus in the front. So if you go around the back of Optimus here and you look under the Super Robot Mode helmet, there's a switch, and it's got 4 positions. They're all labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and right above that switch is a button. So if you place the switch on the button on the number for the appropriate drone, you'll get a sound that goes along with that. So since we're in the number 1 spot right now, that would be the truck. So go ahead and press the button, and you've got yourself a big siren. You know, it sounds very much like a siren that a fire truck would have. So we'll flip over to number 2, and this will be our helicopter sound. I'll get the helicopter out here, and you can hold it down and it'll go longer. There you go. There's your helicopter sound. Flip over to 3, and this will be our drill sound. It really kind of sounds more like static than anything else, but I guess that's what an animated drill would sound like. And finally, we're going to go to our submarine. So flip it over to number 4 and hit that button. And there you go. There's your submarine sound there. So, all right, we're going to go and go ahead and get into the combination. So once again, let's just put Optimus in the back here. Let's bring the drones to the front. And actually, let's just get the drones out of the way, and we'll do these one at a time. So let's get started with the combination. Now, the cool thing about these drones is that these become limbs, and they become any limb for the super robot. You can make this either arm. You know, if you transform it into arm mode, it can go on either side, and you can also transform it into leg mode, and you can use it on either leg. And that is true for all 4 of the drones. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to just go ahead and transform him into what his main super robot mode was. So the drones are going to be on him. As you look at them, they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be the order of the limbs. So we start right here at the front of the truck, and we're just going to split the sides of the truck open and flip those all the way out. Take the front of the truck, flip it up, take the fist, push it down. A lot of people forget this, and then you can take this flap and get rid of it. Just, you know, fold it back in there, put it away, and there you go. A lot of people forget this step or don't know that the fist is actually articulated. So you see a lot of people transform this guy into the robot mode, and then you'll have a fist with this flap sticking out. So this is articulated. You can fold that down, and then you can just tuck that flap away, and that I think looks much better. Now this truck is going to separate right here at the 1, so you can take that and just flip it down just like that, and there is your arm. And again, this can be the arm on either side. This is going to be the robot's right arm. Next, we're going to take the helicopter, and the helicopter is going to be the robot's left arm. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take the tail, fold it up, and we're going to take the rotors and just fold those together and out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and split that just like we did with the fire truck mode. We're going to split the front of the helicopter, and we're going to fold up that tab just like we did with fire truck mode. Now, unfortunately, on this one, we don't have that articulated wrist, so we can't bring this down, and we can't get rid of this tab. That is actually going to hang out just like that, and these propellers are going to sit out here just like this. What a lot of people like to do with these, though, is just leave them open. That way, it's kind of symmetrical. So, but I'm just going to go ahead and fold those, and that's going to be our second arm. Next is the driller number 3, and let me straighten out the camera here a little bit. It looks like we're starting to sag some. So we go to driller 3, and this guy's going to be our robot's right foot. Real simple. Take this this little cockpit here and unpeg it. There's a little port and a peg right there. You just unpeg that, point it straight up, and then you take the drill right here, and you're just going to fold that 90 degrees straight up. And then you can bring this down and just kind of let it rest there. And that's going to be one of your legs. And then finally, we're going to bring the sub in. Real simple, just like we did with the drill. We're just going to take the front of the sub right here, flip it straight up, and that's going to be our other leg. So, at this point, we're going to take Optimus here. And what we're going to do is we're going to straighten out the arms. And we're going to tuck away the fists. We're going to tuck away the toes and the heel spurs. And now you've got Optimus and that configuration right there. So these guys real simple. That's gonna, you can see the port right here, and the leg is actually going to become the peg, and you can see the inside the ports there are little spring-loaded pegs that are going to clip in right there on these grooves that are on each side of the legs. And this is going to work the same way for the arms. So we'll just go ahead and pop these guys in real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to need to adjust our camera, bring it up a little higher. And then finally what we're going to do here is flip the helmet up, or flip the helmet over, and then we're going to bring the whole thing up and over, and it's going to sit right over the regular robot's head. And that's what I was telling you about, the way that thing just flips over and forms itself around the regular robot head. I really love that. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chest windows here in the truck, and we're going to open these up, and there is our Optimus Prime, Energon Optimus Prime in super robot mode, or combined mode, or what a lot of people like to call the Megazord mode. And it's understandable because it's multicolor. It's kind of all over the place. Now, as far as for the super robot mode, he's about 9.5 inches tall, right here at the top of the helmet, so take that into consideration if you plan to display him in combined mode. As far as articulation goes, he's got pretty much the same articulation that the regular robot had, so you can kind of spin these guys around, but you know, you're going to be a little limited because of some of the kibble that we've got now, you know, like these panels in the front and these wheels in the back. But you do have the ability to turn this guy all the way around. You've got some in and out here at the on inside of the shoulder. You do have elbow articulation right there, so you've got some articulation at the arms there. Now you still got your knee articulation, and you've got the same hip articulation that you had before. He does have one more sound in this mode, and if you look on the side here, that's the button that I kept hitting. So you can either, you know, stick your finger in there and hit the button, or if you push this panel back all the way, you can actually the window itself will hit the button and make the light go off, light and sound. So you can press on that, and there's your sound. It's like some sort of a blaster sound or something like that. And then you can see right here in the center where the matrix would be, there's a little light bulb. So I don't think I ever saw him shoot any lasers out of his chest, so I'm not really sure what that's all about. But there you go. There's Optimus in super robot mode. And if there was anything that I was going to change on this, it would be right here in the helicopter. This really is a shame. This thing just hanging right here. I wish they would have come up with a way to have this removable, and then you can plug it up here, maybe, you know, just something so it's not just hanging there. And then also try to incorporate the same joint that they did for this fist over here, so that this panel can get out of the way, much like this panel over here did. Now, so that would have been the changes that I would have made to the super robot mode. Now, like I said, the limbs here can be changed around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring actually this guy. Let me show you. There was a 2013 release of this guy. This is the 2013 Platinum Series Energon Optimus Prime, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same toy except for the paint apps. The truck mode, the cab portion here is obviously very G1 inspired in the paint job, and then there's a different paint on the whole trailer here. It's just a little different paint scheme. But he came with drones as well, and those were painted differently. But I'm going to bring those guys in, because what I've done is I've taken these guys and I've transformed them to the opposite limbs. So you see the fire truck there is in leg mode, and the helicopter is also in leg mode, and then you've got your drill and your sub in arm mode. And I just want to bring these guys in real quick so that I can show you what these guys look like, or what the super robot mode looks like when you take your limbs and flip them the other way around. Obviously our colors are going to be different, but you know what, we're already looking at a multicolor Prime here, so I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. And I just kind of want to show you what each limb looks like in its opposite mode or in its other modes. So there is Optimus Prime, again in Super Robot mode with the limbs in the other configuration. And I really like the way in this mode, I really like the way that the helicopter blades tuck away and hide, and they're out of the way. I absolutely love that, and that's what I'm talking about right there that I wish would have happened for the ARM mode. As far as articulation here, he does have some added articulation in that the bottom of the sub has a claw. So you can actually, these are hinged, so these can open up. So that actually works as a pretty good arm. And then this, as far as being an arm, you don't really have much of an arm here. You just kind of have this pointed drill piece here. So what I see a lot of people do is they'll take the fire truck and the sub and use those for arms, and then use the helicopter and the drill for legs, and that way you don't have that blade just sticking out right there. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually set this guy aside. And we're going to do something different here. I'm going to bring in this guy. We've got a special guest today on That's Just Prime. This guy is Energon Saber, and he's a brick. He is a brick. But I'll tell you what: if you're into collecting primes, and if you get your Energon Optimus Prime, you want to get this guy. You want to go out and chase and find and hunt and get Saber, because there's a combination. There's actually two combination modes. Saber right here will split into 4 parts, and it does the same trick where each part that he splits into will transform into either an arm or a leg for the Super Robot mode for Optimus Prime, and it's so cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Prime here back into the regular robot mode, ready for combination, and I'm going to get this guy in the limb mode, and we're going to do that combination right now. Okay, so here we have Prime and Saber configured for our first combination. So I'm going to bring in these limbs right here. These are going to be our legs, and pop these guys right in. Exact same way that we did for the Super Robot mode previously with his drone limbs. So those guys plug in right there. These guys plug in right up here for the arms. Open up the chest panels, and then I have to bring my camera back and up a little because we are getting really, really big here. Let me adjust the camera. Sorry about the shakiness here, guys. Alright, now here we have Optimus Prime and Saber in our first combination mode. And this guy looks really, really cool. And he is just armed to the teeth, big, powerful, and ready to blow up your face. He's got these cannons mounted right up here, so you can turn these guys over. And you can use these guys to blow up somebody's face. And then he's also got on the side of the arms here, he's got these spring-loaded missiles, and these are also part of Saber. So you can flip these guys over, and you've got these wrist gauntlet-mounted missile launchers here. So you can actually aim these. There's a button right here. These are spring-loaded. There you go. They both fire pretty good. So this is the first combination. Now this is not my favorite combination for Optimus and Saber, just because of the colors. I'm kind of a stickler. I like the G1 themes on my primes, and this guy, even though he looks awesome, I really think this looks super awesome. It's a shame that you've got mostly blue arms and mostly red legs. I prefer my primes to have bluer legs and red arms. So I'm going to go ahead and get this reset up, back up again, and we're going to do Saber combination once again in what is my favorite combination mode for Prime and Saber. Okay, so here we have Prime and Saber now configured for the second combination, and this is my personal favorite. So we'll go ahead and bring these guys in, and as you can see, these were the arms for the first combination mode. Now they're the legs. So you can flip these guys around just like you do with the drones. So go ahead and pop those in, just like we did with everybody else. And then these guys are going to come in. This is what were the legs. Previously, they're now the arms. And can I get this in there without hitting any buttons or any electronics? Come on. Let's see if we can do this. Come on, there we go. Yep, that's in there right in place. And this is my personal favorite combination for Wing Saber and Optimus Prime. Check this guy out, man. This guy is so cool. And this is my personal favorite. Now, there's one downside to this. It's that he's a little back heavy, and he tends to, as you can see, he tends to lean back a little bit. So that's a bit of a shame, but this is my personal favorite combination for Wing Saber and Optimus Prime. You've got yourself, you've got your blue legs, and you've got your red arms, so you've got more of a classic theme for your Optimus Prime here, and you've also got an Optimus Prime with a jetpack. I mean, how cool is this guy? This guy looks big and powerful. This guy is ready to rip off your face. This guy is just so cool. This is, like I said, this is my personal favorite way to combine him with Wing Saber, and this is how I display him. And now in the combined mode, he keeps about the same articulation that he did in the super robot mode. So you've got a little bit, you've got to move some panels around and out of the way so that you can get some rotation. But you got rotation at the shoulder, same that you did before. You've got in and out at the shoulder. You've got I keep hitting buttons, and you've got your elbow rotation, and then once again you've got your in and out at the hips. You've got your forward and backward. You still have your knee articulation. And now this is cool right here. This is just so cool. That is my favorite, absolute favorite combination for Optimus Prime and Wing Saber. This is what I'm telling you right here. If you're into collecting primes and you get the Energon, you want to get the Energon Optimus Prime. I don't care what you've heard out there. Get Energon Optimus Prime and get Wing Saber, because this is how you want to display this guy. This guy is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and set this guy aside just for a second, and I'm going to bring in a bit of a special guest here. Well, not so much a special guest. We talked about this guy a little while ago. This is the 2013 Repaint, the Platinum Edition Optimus Prime. And as you can see, this guy is just the same as the other one that we were just looking at, except he's all G1 colors. And I really love the way that this guy came out. Now, one downside to this, or maybe upside, I'll leave that up to you. They took the electronics out of this, so this guy's got no lights and no sounds. Some people may like that, some people may not. So just so you know, going in, that's the case with that. And I'm going to show you, because I have two of these. I have two ways of displaying these on my shelf. The first one you just saw, that was Prime combined with Wing Saber. The second one is this guy. However, I don't display him. You saw the drones that he came with. I don't display him with the drones that he originally came with. I'm going to bring out these guys right here, and these are my own customized. I've told you that I like to do some custom work myself. These are my own personally customized Energon Optimus Prime drones. And as you can see, what I've done here is I've painted them red and blue, and they still each got their numbers on one side, and then they've got on the other side, instead of doing numbers on both sides, I did number on one side and the Autobot symbol on the other. And the reason I did that is so that no matter what the combination is, whichever way you have this combined, Optimus is always going to have the one Autobot symbol on his shoulder. Is going to be on his left shoulder. So that's why I did that. And then there's another thing that I've done here, and I'll show you that when we get to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys ready for combination. Now, unfortunately, this guy, the Dro here, he's missing his little cockpit. So that's, these are like just the second set that I got on eBay, and for the purposes of painting them. So, all right, we're going to get the legs going. We're going ahead and pop these guys in. And these guys match pretty well. And I really love the way this looks, because now I'm going to get a super combined mode, but it's going to be all G1 theme, and I absolutely love the way this is going to look. And bring the camera up a little bit so that we can cover the whole thing. All right. Fire truck, same as... Nothing has changed on three of these drones. Nothing has changed. There is a change that I did on the helicopter. You'll see that when we get to it. There you go. Pop that guy right in there. You can go ahead and bring the helmet up and over. So we just get that done and out of the way now over here. And then we're going to bring the helicopter in. And I absolutely love this part. Remember what I was telling you about earlier when we're in helicopter mode, or when the helicopter is in limb mode, you've got this thing hanging right here, and it's a real shame. So what I've done is I've added a port on the bottom side of the tail here. So these blades can actually be removed and plugged in up here. So now I've got my super mode Energon Optimus Prime the way I like them. He's got, these can pop off. That's actually never happened to me, but there's your Murphy's Law. They're going to pop off when they're on camera. So there is the Energon Optimus Prime Platinum Edition with my custom drones. And this is how I like to display this Optimus Prime right here, because you've got all blue legs, all red arms, you've got the one Autobot symbol, the blades have been removed and put up here and they're out of the way, and I pretty much just kind of custom made my own fixes to what were my only complaints really for this figure. I love how this looks. I absolutely love how this looks. So if you ever get a look at my shelf, you've got that guy on one side of the shelf, and then you'll have this guy on the other side of the shelf. And this is how I like to display these guys. I absolutely love these guys. It's Energon Optimus Prime. You know, you can change the drones around. Oh, you know, I don't know if I mentioned this before. For the Super Robot mode and Combined mode, you still have rotation. Even though you've got that helmet on there, you can still rotate your head left and right. But you are limited by the range of the helmet itself. So, but you can actually move this head around. So there you go. Energon Optimus Prime. You know, you've got the garage thing going on there. You've got the drones that come out, and you can turn them into whatever limb. You can mix and match. There is a lot that you can do with this guy, and at the end of the day, I think that's what it's all about. It's all about playability and options and just having fun. And I think that this is a fun figure. You can see what I was telling you earlier. You know, the choices that were made for the small robot with the thin limbs, the thin arms, and the thin legs make him look fat. But when you've got a combined robot, if you look at both of these, he actually looks proportionate. So, you know, that's the reason why they made those choices. It doesn't make for a great small robot mode, but this thing really wasn't designed for that. This guy was designed to be in either a combined mode or in his super robot mode. That's really what this guy was designed to do, and I think he does it well. It's a fun figure. If you've heard all the negative stuff out there, I'm sure you have, but try to get your hands on one and play with it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a fun figure to just have in hand and to play with. It's a lot of fun. And I think that about covers Transformers Energon Optimus Prime. I know this has been a long one, but there was a lot here that I wanted to show you guys. Please leave me a comment, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.